This is problem 15.6 from Chapter 15 of Brigham and Houston's Fundamentals of Financial Management, Concise 9th edition. And we're talking about working capital management in here. Got Pasha Corporation produces motorcycle batteries. They build 14,000 batteries a day, and it costs $7 in materials and labor. It takes 22 days to convert raw materials into a battery. That's the inventory conversion period. When they sell it, they allow their customer 40 days in which to pay for the battery. That's the days of receivables. And the firm pays its suppliers in 30 days. That's days of payables. Let's go to the first part here. What is the length of their cash conversion cycle? Cash conversion cycle starts with days of inventory. And what we're told in here, that it takes 22 days to take all the raw materials and turn them into a battery. After they turn them into a battery, the days of accounts receivable, they give it to their customer, and customers have 40 days to pay. And then our third is the suppliers to Pasha Corporation, give them 30 days to pay. So days of accounts payable would be 30. So the cash conversion cycle would be 22 plus 40 minus 30. Okay? So this is the DOI plus DOR, days of receivables, minus DOP, days of payables. All right. Next, at a steady state in which they produce 1,400 batteries per day, what's the amount of working capital that it must finance? All right, part B is going to convert this from days into dollars. So if we took the same information that we have up here, days of inventory, days of accounts receivable, and days of payables, we can estimate what those numbers are. Now, the trick is that we're just estimating, because the days of accounts receivable, the accounts receivable is in days of sales rather than days of cost of goods sold. We don't have that, but so it takes 22 days they sit in inventory, and the inventory, 1,400 batteries a day times $7 means that each day produces a cost of $9,800. And make this into a currency, and I don't want to show pennies, so that's one day. So the total in inventory is 22 days at $9,800 a day, and the days of inventory would be 40 days at $9,800. Of course, the inventory cost would be, or the accounts receivable cost would be higher, because it would also include the price markup. But again, crappy question from our good friends at Brigham and Houston. So there'd be that much inventory and accounts receivable minus that much accounts payable, and that'd be the answer. That's the annual amount of working capital that it must finance. If it wanted to stretch its payables to 33 days, what would happen? Well, move all the numbers around. A change in accounts payable wouldn't affect inventory or accounts receivable. I'd go to 33. It would mean that they could hit up on their suppliers and they would save $29,400 by borrowing from their suppliers. In theory, if the suppliers don't charge them anything and it's free money, then that's a sound ploy. All right, so they're trying to change the proposed new production process. The new production would allow them to decrease its inventory conversion period to 17 days and increase battery production to 2,400 batteries, but it'd change the costs around. Okay, well. So instead of being 1 day at $7, it wouldn't be 1,400 batteries at $7. It would now be 2,400 batteries at $12 a battery. This would go down to 17, and if we allow that to stay at 30, then our cash conversion cycle average collection period is 40 days and deferral period 30 days. What will be the length of the cash conversion cycle? 27 days. And the new cost of the working capital financed, it would get increased from 300,000 and change to $777,000 and change. That would be an increase of about $464,000.